Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Red Tape Podcast. I'm your host, Demerious Nelson. This is brought to you by For the One Media, where we move progressively forward in a conservative way. What's up, guys? Oh, man, today it's the weekend, baby. Hopefully y'all doing something exciting because it is a 3-day weekend for most people. So I hope y'all enjoy it. Hope you remember what Labor Day is about. It's interesting. It's Labor Day, but I won't be celebrating Labor Day because I'm going to be working, trying to get it. Got to get that bread. I'm still going to grill or do something like that on this hobbled leg because that's just what I do. Hey, today, guys, we're going to discuss motivation. What is motivation to you, what it means to me, what it really should mean to you, and why we should use it, but we got to be careful in how we use it. Hey, y'all stay tuned. It's the Red Tape Podcast. Oh, man, Labor Day weekend. I know everybody's ready to put the pools up. Well, if you live in some places where it's cold, hey, make sure y'all praying for those who dealing with this hurricane all throughout the southern part of the United States and the islands, up the coastal line. Make sure the Carolinas and Florida and Georgia, everything's doing all right and well. So hopefully that we can restrain the good hurricane from coming, because it's September. It's hurricane season, and it's arriving on time, just like clockwork. So hopefully it doesn't arrive on the shores. You can just look at the ominous feature. It was an ominous picture of it I seen this morning. And it's like, oh, congratulations, it's strengthened to 145 mile an hour winds, and it's category 4 that could be catastrophic. I'm like, oh, man, not again. So hopefully it'll miss everybody, especially Puerto Rico. We don't want to hit anything. Well, I think it's not going to hit Puerto Rico. But, winds do shift, they do change, and it has a mind of its own. So all we can do is pray and, give assistance to those who need it. And it's interesting that this come at a time, briefly, when President Trump sends $700-something million, takes it away from FEMA, and places it in the hands of those who were trying to build the wall. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this all work out. It's crazy. Crazy to think about. Really crazy to think about. Anyway, today I told you I was going to talk about what motivates me. Now, motivation, you got to be careful with motivation now, first and foremost, because motivation is like an adrenaline rush. And sometimes you run out of adrenaline. It's just like you motivated because the bear behind you is chasing you downhill, and it can run a football field with 100 yards in about 6 to 8 seconds, and it's chasing you. Now, motivation is going to help you take off. That adrenaline rush is going to help you take off because you're motivated not to get caught by this bear. Because, if you get caught by this bear, it's all over. But after the adrenaline rush wears off, and it's going to wear off really fast if this bear is still chasing you, you're going to start thinking about, man, what other skills do I have? What can I do? What do I have to keep me going to stay alive in this instance from this ravenous bear that is chasing you because you have put your hand on his cub, or on her cub, excuse me. And now she's chasing you for a good 10 to 15 minutes. Oh, man, that's quite a long time to be chased by an animal. Where's your stamina? That's my question. Because after your adrenaline rush runs off, where's your talent? Where are your gifts? Where's your preparation? Did you prepare? Are you in shape? See, you start really, if it's a group of people running, you really start to see who's been actually working out. You start to see who's actually in shape to handle this situation. And then you look at it and you say, oh, man, we lost Donald. Oh, Shelly just I'm still running. And you realize that, wait a minute, I'm the last one left. Well, nope, there's one person because they managed to have some athletic ability to get in the tree. Now, this is life, guys. In motivation, we just run until you run out of fuel. But those that can keep going are those who've been consistent in everyday preparation. So motivation is great. I love motivation. It's something that, it just fuels you. And sometimes it can fuel you forever, depending on what the situation is. You might think about old situations that made you angry, and then now you're working extra hard. And a lot of times working motivated and angry it's time to go to bed. It's night. So you try not to be motivated by the anger or by people that piss you off. You just try to use it and throttle back. But it's about being consistent, because a surge of motivation can be deadly, and it can actually be counterproductive. You won't get anything done. So you have to understand how to use the motivations that you have. Just like in church for me. People go to church on Sunday after a wild week. After that wild week, and then Saturday night, you know what happened. But we still going to get up because granny then dragged us out to bed, or mama or your old lady. Somebody then dragged you out to bed. And now they saying, let's go. Let's get up. Time to roll. Hey, pop, hitting you on your leg. I remember those days. Hitting you on the leg. Wake up. Keep coming in there. Let's go. Let's go. Your friends, let's go. Oh, God. I promised them that I was going to church today. And you get in church, and you know the things you've done all week after that wild week. And you look around, and you're like, man, I'm motivated. Whew. T.D. Jakes. Oh, man. Mr. Who else is out there? A lot of those, pastors, man, they just motivate you and have you lifted up. Then after that, you take the next, you go Monday and you go hear some Tony Robbins, or you go listen to one of those motivational speakers, and you're like, oh, man, I'm focused. I'm wired up. And then Wednesday hitting, you're like, phew, I'm tired. You're like, hey, man, so how's your plan going? Let's go ahead into the next following week. And then your friends, they know that you're motivated and you got the big plans out there. Just remember what I said, if you want to accomplish your dream, you got to put it out there so people can hold you accountable. And then in being held accountable, we roll in our eyes most times, and you get angry at the people that's telling you, because you're like, all right, man, I don't want to hear this. Please get away from me. And then they ask you the question, or you avoid talking to them for a whole week. Like, hey, man, it's just like my boy Kenny after the Cowboy lost. We avoid talking to him. When we win, we're going to talk to him immediately, especially if his Giants lose. But when we lose, he called us automatically. We didn't hear him all season because the Giants just had a terrible year and the Cowboys went to the playoffs. So we didn't hear from this guy for like 6 months, like literally, over some football. So just imagine how it is when these guys hold you accountable, or some people hold you accountable, and they're like, hey, did you accomplish what you set out to accomplish? Then they ask you, well, what'd you do? And then you're like, I didn't get much of anything done. I think that's the part that most people get in. I've been there. I'm sure y'all been there. I think that's the part we all are often stuck in, is what do we do after we get the motivation pitch? What do we do after we get the job that we've been ever so eagerly looking for, just eager to accomplish it? What do we do when we actually get what we want? And then the motivation to find a job, you actually get the job, and now you're the director of the department, or you get the dream job you wanted, and now you're like, oh, man, what do I do? Because I don't think I was ready for this. Even though my resume said it, even though I filled in all the blocks, what do I do? And that's what it is with motivation a lot of times. We see ourselves, we get what we want, and then once we get what we want, we're stuck. So motivation can fuel you in those moments, but what really fuels you is preparation. That's what keeps you going, actually. Motivation can fuel you, but motivation keeps you going in those times when you're unmotivated, whether it's school. You're motivated because you know the end goal for the thing. But then when you get that thing, it's like, now what? It's like I finished my master's, but it's like, now what? What motivates me now? Okay, I'm on to the next thing. But that's not motivation. That's determination. That's consistency. That is understanding who you are, understanding what your talents and gifts are, and then understand how to introduce them into your daily life. So for you guys that are motivated by other people, but then get in a place where you're stuck and don't know how to navigate that area, I say sit down and recalibrate yourself and write out what you've accomplished. Then write out what you hope to accomplish. The best thing to do is to write. The best thing to do is to have a calendar. The best thing that I do is I write it on my mirror. I mean, what better place than the mirror? You have to brush your teeth, wash your face, floss, all those great things when you got good hygiene to get you ready for the day. That's what should motivate you. That's what should help you reach the pinnacle of the success that you're looking to achieve. Now, honestly, I don't like pinnacles of success because when you reach that pinnacle, there's a downside to it all the time. So I like to stay on that plateau sometimes where the plateau is pretty good, but every now and then you got a peak, you go over like, oh, yeah, and you get back on the plateau because that's what keeps you humble. Now, I do like the peak of success, trust me. But what motivates me is try to remain consistent in the success. Like I read something, this guy, Saquon Barkley, who was the Giants running back, he was a rookie last year. He said he met Tom Brady this summer. Now, if y'all know Tom Brady, been in the league 20 years. This guy is in his going into his second year in the league. And he said meeting Tom Brady over the summer motivated him. Because Tom Brady said, hey, man, you're good. It's good to do it in 1 year, but can you do it 5? Can you do it 10? Can you do it longer? Because that is success. How long can you sustain the greatness that you seek? Is that motivation or is that preparation? For me, it's preparation. Although it motivates you, and you're motivated by different things through time, over time, different things motivate you and have you thinking about it more, to have you want to accomplish more. And that's what we have to do. We have to find things to help us remain consistent. And in between the consistency, we do have moments and spurts of motivation. But for bears chasing you for 15 to 20 minutes, I ain't never heard of it, never seen it, but I'm sure it can happen. You have to figure out a way to make sure that you prepare for the bear. You prepare for the bear, the preparation for when you run out of motivation. That's what you're preparing for each day. When you're unmotivated, what's going to keep you going? When the adrenaline rush wears off and the pain kicks in from the car wreck you were just in, how do you get yourself and rehabilitate yourself to keep you from feeling bad? That's what life is a lot of times. That's what life is. That's what motivation is. That's what motivation can be. And I just wanted to briefly come on here today and just talk to you about, being aware of the motivation and understand how to utilize it effectively. Because I think people are motivated. A lot of people want to accomplish a lot of different things, but we run out of juice sometimes. So what you can do to maintain that middle level is like, you got the gas tank. You got full, empty, and you got that middle line where I can go a few more miles, but we can get to a quarter tank, but we don't get anything less than that. Because a lot of times you get down to that quarter tank and you don't fill it up. If you got an older car, it can have some of that old, debris and old whatever comes out of the gas that's left at the bottom of your gas tank. Sometimes it get in your fuel tank and cause your car not to work or your truck not to work. Trust me, I know. I had to get a whole new fuel pump because some debris shot up in there. So don't let your gas get below a quarter tank, ladies. I know ladies are infamous. Hey, ladies, women, and my dad are infamous for running low on gas. And then you got to get up. Mom, let me borrow your car. Oh, God, it's close to E. I should have known. She was happy to hand it to me. No, my dad notorious for it, too. Go out there and run it out of gas, get close to E, and, hey, is somebody going to pick me up? I thought I could make it. So just that time, you got to stay in that middle line. You got to understand where you are. That's what you have to, that's one of the key takeaways from this. Always understand where you are. You know your gauge. No one else knows your gauge in life like you when it comes to accomplishing things. Where is your fuel in your tank? Motivation can kick it up to a little bit. But when you're not motivated, it can bring you down a little bit. So you have to stay in that good place to know where you can accomplish most things. I know me, I take on a lot of different things. I want to do a lot of different things all at the same time. But I learned that being a jack of all trades and a master at none can make you some money, but will it help you reach greatness? Because you spread thin that you can't really channel in on the one thing that you really should be focused on. And then that thing will bloom into that tree that you planted and that seed that you planted. And then the tree, you reap the benefits of it because of fruit on it. And then you go plant something else that you want to do. So you really have to narrow down and drill down on your focus. And in this instance, drilling down on your focus means understanding your limitations for the moment. Because I don't think anyone should be limited, but we have to understand our limitations at that moment and work on those limitations, break us free in each area that we're in. And at those times when you're limited in a situation, you do use motivation because it's going to give you that extra strength in that moment to bust through like the Hulk. And that's motivation and what you should do with motivation. And that's what I do when I think of motivation, because I do have to check myself. I do have to check my impulses. I do have to monitor my adrenaline rush because as you get older, there's one thing to keep in mind. You can't run like you ran when you were younger. You have to be wise in the way you move. So if you start out young folks, moving wiser, knowing that one day you may get old, it'll help you in life. That way you ain't got to worry about dealing with the bear. Because when the bear catches you, if you don't know what that looks like, watch The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio when he won his Academy Award. And it'll tell you all what a bear is capable of. And that's what I got for you guys today. Stay motivated, but in your motivation, monitor it. Understand that consistency is always the key. Consistency is better than motivation because motivation and your adrenaline rush, like your adrenaline rush, it runs out. And it'll come back and give you that extra jolt when you need it. But at the end of the day, consistency wins out over motivation any day. All right? So achieve your dreams. Keep your goals in front of you. Remember that vision that you had. Don't give up on it. Hey, this is the Red Tape Podcast. I'm your host, Demerious Nelson. This is always brought to you by For The One Media. Make sure you check us out at www.fortheonemedia.com. Also check us out. Email us at fortheonemedia@gmail.com. You see the Red Tape Podcast. Check it out. It's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean. Hey, it's all streaming in all places. All right. You have a good one.